Ciao a tutti. Guess who's back in Sicilia?
And she made it. And she had a great flight over, didn't you,
Oh, I had
Eszter?
an interesting flight, but lots for you to find out about. We're going to talk about some food pairings with wines. Alfred's going to talk about his Christmas gift that I got him at the duty
What
free.
a gift. It's a great gift. And what else are we going to talk about?
Oh, a little bit of everything. So let's start out with my flight, okay? So we've been here on this channel time and time again. We've talked about AlItalia and how it's gone bankrupt and it's a terrible company. And now they're ITA and all of a sudden they have new uniforms, a new name, but it's the same plane. It's the same crew. And by the way, the crew is unbelievable. Really, really good group of people. But I talked a lot to them about what types of changes have gone on since ITA now is the new company that has it. But very interesting. I have to tell you, on the flight over to Boston, my seat was broken. The little plug to watch movies or watch what's going on, broken in my seat. There were no other seats because the flight was full. On the way back, wait till you see what I found in the bathroom. I'm going to show you that video in just a little bit. And then I'm going to take you to Rome Airport at 6 o'clock in the morning. My flight came in 40 minutes earlier. I'm show you around there a little bit, and that's it. That's going to be in the upcoming video.
Well, listen, let me say this, okay? 2 years ago, they canceled my flight for COVID. I never got a nickel back from AlItalia. And by the way, here's the distinction between AlItalia and ITA. ITA owns the company. They bought the assets, including the name AlItalia.
But
So,
my understanding is that they had to change it so because the government maneuvered some things so they wouldn't have to pay back the billions of dollars of debt.
well, here's
So
what
they
I
had
know.
to change the
Okay, I
name.
don't care about billions, trillions, whatever. I got porked out of $800 is what I know. Pork, Porked, and I'm irritated with them. And every time I fly with them, I get something happens. Okay, something happens. They have a story for everything. Late, cancellations, you name it. And I know some of you out there like them. Not me. I'm going to be flying other airlines from now on till the rest of my life, whether it's KLM, whether it's BA, whether
Now
it's
listen, KLM,
Lufthansa.
there were conversations that KLM would buy AlItalia or ITA or buy a majority share, but those conversations have now stopped. Now Lufthansa is thinking about it. So we'll see the never-ending saga of
Please,
AlItalia / ITA. Let's go to the video.
go
Enjoy
ahead.
it. And while I'm walking around at the Rome airport, I'll tell you what some of the flight attendants, can I say flight attendants?
Yeah, that's what they're called.
Flight attendants told me. Check
Yeah.
this out. Here's the bathroom. And look at this. Are you serious? Are you serious right now? Scotch. Tape. Everywhere. Ridiculous. Look at this. Look at this flimsy shit here. Look at this. This is AlItalia. Are you serious? Rome Airport at 6 a.m. Ghost town. I've never seen it like this. So my flight was 40 minutes earlier. I flew ITA, which is former AlItalia. Same plane as before, same crew. And in fact, I was talking to some of the crew members. Let me walk with you a little bit while I tell you about this. They said that the pay was just about the same, in some cases less. There's no part-time. They have to work full-time, even if they have a family, like my flight attendant, who has 2 children. One of the things that I do not like is traveling early afternoon because you get to Rome very early in the morning. Everything's closed. It's like a ghost town. And I could have used a few more hours of sleep on the plane. Usually from Boston, 8, 9, get a few extra hours of sleep. This is when I know I'm totally Italian. I'm having my first coffee of the day at the bar, not sitting. Of course, I'm having caffè macchiato. Buongiorno. All right, it's 8 o'clock. Everything is open. Now I'm gonna go to duty free. Make sure you stop here when you come here. I'm getting Alfred Remy Martin. Still setting up. I'm at the duty free and look at Fiasconado. I was just there with Enza, Fusco, and the gang, and they are everywhere. Of course, there are other panettones, but it looks like this is the predominant one. Classic. Catania. It's a good 10-minute walk from your arrival from the United States to departure in Sicily. Gate A, you arrive in E. And there's always something fun to see. As you're walking to your gate, series of Roman statues. I think Alfred showed you this in prior episodes. Usually the fights for Catania are downstairs, so you'll have to find the escalator to go down.
How to fasten, when unfasten your seatbelt.
Switch on your mobile telephone for your safety. Please remain.
Don't forget to bring €1 with you, or even 50 cents, so you can get a cart here in Catania. Put it right in there, and then pull it out. Now, Alfred, when you were picking me up in Catania Airport, this is being filmed in November, you noticed some construction.
Some construction. There's a lot of modernization going along over there. They're expanding the airport. They had over 8 million visitors this year.
One of the most visited, right?
Yep, one of the top 3 or 4 in all of Italy. So they're expanding it. They're even putting a mall next door. So, I mean, it's to me, it's an efficient.
Wait a sec, a mall?
Yeah, next door.
That's an interesting thing.
But they're ripping up sidewalks. They're resurfacing stuff, and be honest with you, they've been delivering the luggage on time too.
They have. My luggage was
unbelievable.
I do want to clarify something that I said on the video, and I said that I like to take the later flight so that way I can sleep. Because 5 o'clock, I took a 5 o'clock in the evening flight, and I couldn't fall asleep till like 10, 11. By the time I fell asleep, I only had 2.5 hours to sleep. So that's why I like to leave on flights that go like 7, 8, 9 in the evening, and then I can have a little bit more sleep, because the flight from the U.S. to Rome is shorter, right, because of the tailwind. So that's one of the things. But the reason that we got in 40 minutes earlier on that flight was because of the tailwind. But that's 40 minutes less to sleep.
Listen, here's
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Here's my hint, okay? Here's my tip, okay? When you land in Rome, okay, and you're going to Sicily, you've got to walk through 2 terminals to get to the correct terminal to catch the connecting flight. Now, if you're elderly, if you're out of shape, if you have like a bad knee, like I do, or something like that, and you cannot walk nearly a mile through the terminals, then when you check in the United States, you should request assistance
For sure.
when you land in Rome, and they'll greet you with this little trolley, and you just get in on the trolley, and then the next thing you know, you're through customs, not customs, you're through the passport control, and they deliver you to the gate.
Now, I
okay,
do
that's
wanna-
my best
Okay,
advice ever.
now let's move on to your Christmas gift, okay? So let me tell you about the Christmas gift. I'm going to hold it up in just a second. So I went to duty free when I first arrived. It's one of the biggest one, and I found the Remy Martin. Wait, I did already mention this in the video, so you already knew I was getting the Remy Martin XO. When I went to check out, they wouldn't let me buy this at the duty free, at the first one. They wouldn't let me buy it at the second one because I wanted to buy a smaller size. They only let me buy it at the third one, which was near my gate. And the reason they said was that I wasn't flying international, I was flying in country. So this is the only one they had available, and I had to buy it at a certain duty free. Did you know that?
Well, here's what I know.
But did you know that?
No, I didn't know that she wanted to buy me a cheap one. Here it is.
I
I'm,
didn't say-
I'm thinking that she got me
Listen.
a big one, an expensive one, because she loved me. Now I'm finding out, fun
Excuse
stuff,
me,
that
Zach.
you tried to get the small little. What did you try to get me? A flask? What? And then all of a sudden
No,
she
it's
had
the
to get
one.
me.
It's the one that we discussed normally. That was going to be about €200. Instead of this one, which I'm not even going to tell you how much it costs. But this is something to keep in mind, that if you're coming to Rome and then you want to buy something on, if you're coming to Sicily and you stop in at Rome and you want to bring something to Sicily, keep that in mind. But anyway,
duty free.
I love the duty free.
Buy duty free at the point of departure once you pass
Yeah.
passport control. When
But
you're
I
in
didn't wanna
Italy,
buy it in the
When
United
you're in
States.
Italy, you can buy it again, point of departure. All right. If you're traveling in Italy, who cares? Okay. And then the other thing that
No,
nobody
the point,
talks
wait
about.
a sec, the point of it was that you have to get it at the duty free near the gate.
That's because you had passed passport control, Esther.
Right, there was no.
Thank you.
There was no duty free before passport control.
Right, because that's on the way out. That's for the
Anyway, the
national,
adventures.
intranational, not international. In Italy, you can buy stuff over there, and they have a spectacular amount of stuff for sale. The finest shops in almost all of Europe
For
are in
sure.
that airport. That airport is just knock you out. It's clean. It's efficient. I mean,
Now, listen,
I
can
wish
I-
the planes were like that, but they're not.
I gotta go back. Just one more thing that I
Okay.
forgot to mention, that there's talks that ITA is going to hire 1,200 pilots and flight attendants in the next year or two. So let's hope of that, because as you heard me say, that one of the flight attendants said that they're working more hours, the pay's the same. Now they don't let part-time. So if you're a mother and you are doing part-time working at AlItalia or ITA or whatever it's called, you now only have a choice to not work there or work there full-time. So not the best changes reported so far.
I don't want to
Can
drone
we-
on about
can we-
AlItalia
yeah,
/
let's
but
move
I have
on.
one more thing to say, okay? It's got nothing to do with the attendants. It has everything to do with the unions, okay? The unions croaked that airline. They couldn't afford a lot of stuff, like new airplanes, for example, okay? Because the bloated union workers, there was more damn attendants on some of these planes, older attendants too, by the way,
Yeah.
getting maximum dollars with frickin' scowls on their face, okay? And I've flown them enough to say that. I bet you I've flown them 50 or 60 times in my career,
Yeah,
okay?
so we
now, for me, history.
All right. So wait a sec.
Basta.
So we keep saying this. We're not going to fly AlItalia. We're not going to fly AlItalia. So now I'm going to declare I'm not going to fly them again. Period. End of sentence. So now wait a sec.
Finally.
Excuse me, I didn't fly them for years. I want to remind you that in
No, you're right. You
2017,
did it.
I
You
did
did
make
it.
a declaration. So you
Right.
may be asking, what should I fly here? I suggest KLM and Lufthansa. Great flight. I know some people have also said that Aer Lingus and so forth, but there are other better flights. So can we move on now?
My favorite flight is KLM to Amsterdam,
Yeah.
and then Amsterdam to Sicily. Okay, or they can use their partner, which is Transavia.
Yeah. Those
End
are
of
good
sentence.
flights.
Or else Lufthansa to Frankfurt, Frankfurt to Sicily. Okay, even United is okay, by the way. All right, there are plenty of other options than AlItalia. These folks need to, in my opinion, learn a lesson that hey, it's the customer can always have options. Period. End of sentence.
All
That's
right.
what I
So
wanna
now
say.
let's move on. I'm going to show you guys the inside of some supermarkets and what they have for Christmas. Just a little bit of a preview because we're going to have a much longer segment on that, and perhaps even an entire show. So take a look at a little preview of some of the things that they have in the markets here for Christmas.
So here's one of the 4 rows of the panettones. Eszter hasn't seen this yet, and here she comes.
Oh my God. They've got all
What
the same
a
flavors.
stuff, Bunster, huh? Wowza. We'll check this out in just a couple of seconds.
Okay, which one is your favorite? Looking for the pistachio cream. That's my favorite. And here it is. Although this is not the best brand, it's a pretty good one. Cremari is very good, and of course, there's Condorelli. They're always very good. But the best, of course, is Fiasconado. Did you see that episode we did on Fiasconado? The Classico, and I got my mom the pane. And what do you have, Al?
Yes, sir. I bought a Malta brand, which, by the way, they sell in the United States, and it's very good. I got the panettone,
Yeah.
and in the morning what I do is I slice it up, and I just put a little bit of butter on it. Really
Awesome.
good. Yeah.
Sounds good. These gift baskets are great ideas, too. You got your vino, you got your pig's feet, jam, salami, all in one. Chocolates, of course, too. And here are the dried fruits and nuts. Typical Christmas things. This, ladies and gentlemen, is our Thanksgiving.
Thigh.
No, this is for thigh for Sunday. So when you're
Sure.
watching us, we're eating this. It is 1.4 kilograms. That's over 3 pounds. And this is just the thigh. Just the thigh. This is half the breast, or maybe even less than half the breast. It's 1.6 kilos, so over 3 pounds. €12.64. But you should have seen the whole thing together.
The whole thing is a marinade that you put on it.
All right, Al, you wanted to talk about this extra gold cognac.
Listen, all right. Here's what I know. I'm a cognac drinker. I'm a brandy drinker, and I'm a cognac drinker forever. Okay, Remy Martin has always been my cognac of choice. Cognac can only come from France, from the cognac region. So you can't buy American cognac. It has to be called brandy. That's number one. But I want to read you this, okay?
Go ahead, the whole thing.
This is a very terrific cognac. Only crafted from precious aged eau de vie, which means water of life. Remy Martin XO reveals a very broad aromatic range. Discover the fiery mahogany cologne, heady touches of jasmine and iris, in harmony with ripe notes of late summer figs
That's
and
a
candied
good
plums,
description.
all complemented by hints of cinnamon and dried autumn fruits. Now, let me just say this to you, because one bottle, okay, is several $100s, okay? You're only supposed to have one. You're not supposed to get drunk on Remy Martin XO. If you want to get drunk, go buy a bottle of Hennessy or Martell or even Remy Martin normal, and your second or your third, if you want to have that many, have the cheaper stuff, which is still 35 or 40 bucks
Okay.
a bottle.
Well, Remy Martin.
Remy Martell.
Well, this is a
Merry
perfect-
Christmas to Alfred.
This is a perfect segue to talk to Ciao Daniel and Federico Lombardo from Viriato. They have an Etna and a Favignana vineyard. Great, great wines. Did you know, by the way, that the province of Trapani has the most vineyards? I believe in Sicily and maybe even in Italy, concentrated.
Wow.
And there
Didn't
are
know
some
that.
grapes that are indigenous to that area. I was very interested to find that out. This is part 2 of our continued discussions
seawater.
about wines from Sicily.
Sparkling wine, I will always suggest drink as an aperitif, but on the other side, the best pairing will be seafood. I will pair with mostly raw fish, will be a wonderful pairing. Just imagine with a sashimi of salmon, and salmon, has a very, very bold taste. So the pairing will be perfect. Etna Bianco, it's a very, very interesting to pair because it has acidity, at the same time, it's a very, very mineral wine. So I would suggest, obviously, with seafood, a sea bass will be the best pairing. But you have this freshness that's covered the boldness of the wine. So another interesting pairing will be Thai food, or why not a wonderful risotto with truffles. Going to the reds, Etna reds, the perfect pairing, in my opinion, would be lamb. But usually in Sicily, we chill a little bit, and we also pair with a wonderful tuna stick of a wonderful swordfish. West side of Sicily, I already told you, gives a more complex wine. So for Sant'Agostino and Armonium, I strongly suggest meat, veal, or why not cheese, just to give you an idea.
Nero means black, sort of like in northern Italy, Pinot Nero, Pinot Noir in French.
Yeah.
Noir. So the names sometimes have geographical meanings and sometimes other meanings, like black from Avila. So that's where the origination was. Other ones like Pericone, which this is a great wine, I believe, with steaks and with and they call it Ribica, and the grape is Pericone, which is really, really located in western Sicily, where you are. And I don't believe it goes across the island, does it?
No, absolutely not. Pericone has a very, very interesting history because was used during the tradition to make ruby marsala. For this reason, is native only in the west side of Sicily, in the Trapani province, close to the sea. Now, what happened when the production of ruby marsala dropped? The farmer will switch these grapes in favor of Nero d'Avola, which is easier to grow and easier to vinify. So when we start investing in Pericone, Pericone was a relic grape, quite extinct. So we were the first winery to put in a bottle 100% of Pericone. And as a result, you have a wine that is very bold, very complex, but at the same time with very, very elegant tannin texture.
This is one of my favorites. We've had it with some pasta dishes. We had it with some lamb, actually, at a restaurant in Boca Raton. Lucky me and friends. But Eszter, here's some wines I think you and Alfred would like. Quarter-Vitis. We have a Quarter-Vitis Bianco and a Quarter-Vitis Rosso. So quarter, 4. So 4 vines. So in each one you have 4 native varietals from Sicily, 4 reds and 4 whites. So we refer to these as Sicily in a glass, Bianco and Rosso. So tell us about this, these blends of 4 indigenous, the big word, autonomous varietals of reds and whites. So we're covering 8 different varietals right here of pure Sicilian varietals.
So the project started more than 20 years ago with a very strict objective. The idea, you already told, was to put Sicily in a glass. Sicily is a continent. So we choose for red and for white the 4 main and most famous and most interesting Sicilian native grapes. So For example, the white wine has Zibibo, Insolia, Carricante, and Catarratto. My idea is to have the balance inside the glass of all the four native grapes, because I want the wine lover, when I build a blend between these four grapes, to find the markers, the scents, and the aromas of each grape, but at the same time, very, very well balanced. And I choose for the wine that. For the red, I choose Nero d'Avola, Perricone, Nerello Cappuccio, and Frappato. And you trust me, will be a journey, because you start tasting this wine. This wine, both the white and the red, will make a very interesting evolution in the glass. And you feel, for example, the red fruits for Nero d'Avola, the elegance of Frappato, the spicy notes of Nerello Cappuccio, and the tannic texture of Perricone. About the pairing, I will pair the Quaternidis Bianco. I will pair obviously with seafood, with oysters. This wine is perfect. For the red, obviously meat of strong pasta, such as spaghetti with raguola bolognese.
Don't forget, if you buy wines from www.winesfromitaly.com and you put in the promo code You, Me, and Sicily, if you spend $200 or more, you get free shipping. Perfect for Thanksgiving. By the time you're watching this, you may still have time for Thanksgiving. Definitely plenty of time for Christmas and New Year's. $200 worth of wine, free shipping. Promo code You, Me, and Sicily.
Hey, before we go, why don't you tell them where we're going for New Year's Eve? God willing.
We're going to
ahead.
go to Taormina.
And-
We're going to do what to do on New Year's Eve in Taormina. That's going to be fun.
We're going to be there during the daytime.
So
We're going to
day
take
and
you
night.
to a very luxurious and elegant New Year's Eve dinner, and then we're going to walk the promenade after the New Year's. And it's the first time we've done this to this extent. It's really going to be there's nothing like New Year's Eve in Taormina. I've been there many times. This is our first video, in terms of
You know what
we're
we
gonna
need to do too, and we've talked about it a lot on this channel, but doing Christmas in Sicily. You know, we had past episodes where we went to Caltagirone and I showed you the beautiful nativity scenes, but there certainly are many other things. So that's also in a future episode. So lots of exciting things happening here. Thank you for supporting this channel, and make sure you hit the like, share it with a friend. Did we forget to say anything?
Yes, we're going to have turkey today, and also on Thanksgiving. We're going to have turkey twice today, this week. We haven't had it all year, so we figured, okay, it's Thanksgiving. And also, the big rumor is she's going to make an apple pie for
I always
Thanksgiving.
make apple pie for Thanksgiving.
Psyched.
Anyway, thank you
Psyched.
for being here, and we'll see you on another video of You, Me, and Sicily. Ciao.
We love you, Saberadiga.